Shot of Brandy podcast, episode 136. Episode 136. Back with my guy, Poetry and Chill. That took over the map, man. Took over the map. Shot of Brandy podcast, episode 136. The return of Gregory. What's good with you, Gregory, my guy?
What's good? What's good? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, bro. Man, I appreciate you coming back, man.
Man, appreciate the invite. You know, I've been seeing you on my IG feed all day.
Yeah, already.
You stay consistent. Man.
Yeah, nah, man, I appreciate it, man. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you out here, man, with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still moving, bro. Like, it's getting bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely growing.
Yeah.
Definitely growing. It's daily is growing.
Already. Nah, man, but how you been, though?
Man, mentally, spiritually, I've been really good, man.
Okay, right.
Been keeping to myself, you know, obviously during this COVID-19.
Right.
I'm used to being isolated. So it really wasn't nothing to me. This is when I came up with all my ideas when I was by myself. So it was more like home. Yeah. Other than, you know, my students and doing shows, I was good, you know, so I really haven't had a problem with it, honestly.
Right. Nah, man, that's what I tell people, man. Like, this quarantine, like, I've been living this quarantine life, you know what I'm saying? Like, just staying to myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, staying out the way, staying focused, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Right. Nah, man, but the last time, man, that you came out, man, like, you was really spitting that positivity, man, and I appreciate that episode, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
And you had the video, you know what I'm saying? Like, that really made me want to jumpstart the video, man, because you came in like and showed me how to do it on the phone.
I didn't know that was, that was just one of those ideas. I was like, hey, let me record.
Okay,
you know?
right.
It wasn't even a thought like this was going to spark an idea.
Damn.
And now I see, you know, even now how IG stories, what I was telling you earlier, like IG stories and elevated since then.
I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man, like it seemed like the video, like, people want to see stuff now, you know what I'm saying? Like way more, you know what I'm saying?
And behind the scenes too. They want to see what you're doing, who you talking to, like kind of that sneak peek. They want to know what you got going on. So that's why the stories, I think like Instagram and them made it like that too. Like you ain't got to post as much, but your stories you can just keep it flooding. Right.
Nah, man, so how the poetry been, man? How the poetry game been, man?
Poetry and Chill is actually just grown. Like I think the last time I was here, I just started my literacy workshops at Northeast Community Center. That was our first one.
Exactly. Okay, man. So how did that go, though? You know
that went really good. So like we started there with Lieutenant Cubitt with the FACT mentoring program. So we started there October 2018. Started with 13 kids. Okay. It got big to shout out to Quentin Hughes. He works at Douglas, or he was at Douglas. He brought us over to Douglas. So where that was our first official school we was working with our literacy workshops. Yeah. They kind of got the word out. Capitol Hill contacted us. So obviously when all the schools split up during the merging, all the schools switched. A lot of teachers went to different schools. Right.
So teachers came out too?
Yeah, teachers came out. Well, see, from the Northeast Community Center, when we were posting it, the news came through. So Quentin Hughes seen it, and he works at Douglas. Okay. So he contacts us.
Yeah, I seen you on the news. Okay, yeah, but how did they get involved so quick, and you wasn't even started yet, though?
See, when we started at the community center, we just did 2 sessions. Okay. And I can't remember how they got the notice of how we were doing the workshop. I think we posted on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, the universe.
They contacted us like, hey, can we do a story over it? We did a story that got noticed to Quentin Hughes at Douglas. Okay. So he contacts us, and he knows one of the students that works with us that graduated from their Daquan. Right. So it just kind of all connected. And
then it just worked out.
Then when the school split up, a lot of teachers that was at Douglas went to 4 or 5 different schools, and then they just
like, what you mean split up?
Like, okay, so last year, a lot of the schools joined together, like Northeast.
Oh, they did?
Northeast ended up being, it's like Northwest, it's North Classen now. Like, it's like a lot of schools switched from...
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so some schools closed last year. Okay. I can't remember all the schools that closed, but a lot of teachers switched schools, so like...
Oh, I thought it was just Northeast.
I thought it was Northeast and Northwest Class, or Class and ASS. Them 2 schools. So now it's not Northeast, so them schools kind of joined together. If I'm not mistaken. Okay. So when that happened, a lot of teachers that were working at other schools too, they all just started going to different schools, working at different schools. So like the teachers that were at Douglas, they went to John Marshall, Putnam Heights Academy, Western Heights, Santa Fe South, and so we end up being at those schools too because they saw us at Douglas.
Okay.
So it kind of just was like a wildfire, and then it went from 13 to 15 kids a week. Now we're at like 250 kids a week that we see because we're at my old school that I graduated from, Two Lakes Elementary. So we do
250 a week.
A week. Close to that, 250, and then
that's a lot of kids, bro.
Consistently every week, and then what we're growing to before the COVID-19 was coming, because we were working at Cassidy. We went to Cassidy.
Oh, you went to Cassidy?
Yeah, we went there one time, and we were supposed to go back, but obviously,
how was that feedback?
Oh, they loved it.
Oh, they
loved it. They posted us on their Instagram, Facebook, tagged us, invited us.
Okay, so what do you do at these workshops?
So what we do is that we push literacy. It's a safe zone for the students to be themselves. So it's really just a place for us to talk, chit chat about like real life events. No filters. We don't like tell the kids. We don't even give them advice. We let them speak themselves. Like we know, like, hey, how do you feel? You know, and then they express how they feel. Most of the time, it end up being a group discussion between the teenagers, between the middle school kids. I just facilitate the whole conversation. So then we do talent shows for the students. So some of the students are poets, some of the students are artists, dancers. So we do.
So you bringing all the talents out. So you bringing out their gifts,
bringing it all out. So just giving them a place too, because at the same time, it might be a student that might be one day might be a doctor, but they might like to write a little bit. So them coming in there and learning how to write and expressing how they feel it's like therapeutic for them. So they feel like, man, like they getting off their chest. It helps in other aspects of life too. I feel like because I didn't. I started writing poetry, and then it got me into all other lanes. I never thought I'd be throwing events and, doing what I'm doing now. So some of these students, they're getting a chance just to talk. And that's all we're really doing is just talking.
Exactly. Okay, so what's the feedback on it from the kids?
Oh, they love it. That's the only reason, because I told somebody this, you can't deny what the kids want. So they're literally
and they'll tell you.
And they'll tell you. So they're wanting us in the schools because nobody, one thing I've learned that you can't get these kids to listen. How can we get these kids to respond? We come in there
because their attention span is so short.
So short, but they treat poetry and chill like it's the hottest thing out there. So they love it. It's when we come in there with our shirts on the logos, then they see, and we'll get into that. The college tour, they see us in the real world. So they see me at a show I'm at. Prairie View A&M. At that night, they see me on IG story. The next morning, I'm in their class. It's like, hold up, wasn't you just And they seeing this side. And they and I'm from Oklahoma City, so I'm like, yo, we from here.
And you rap.
And I rap. We started on the east side.
Right.
By Bobo's. We this is everywhere we go, we say this is a birth out of Oklahoma City east side. So every state, every school we go to, I let them be known. So it's kind of one of those things, and the students is following our movement.
Exactly. Okay, so from 13 to 250. Okay, so when they come in, then what are they? How are they expressing themselves? You know what I'm saying? What are they talking about? What are these kids talking about?
Oh man, they talking about everything. So
because they so smart and they get all the information when we get it. So it's no filter.
One thing I've learned is that they know everything that we think they don't know. So everything that adults that we saying they don't. They
just
don't know
we
stuff.
did.
Yeah, we know the same things, and that's why I know too. I'm these
but
kids.
They got way more because they got iPhones. You know what I'm saying?
And then
so they could just
get access to it. Yeah, we had this knowledge, and we didn't have no support system. I couldn't get on Instagram and find a page of people that rocked with me. It was if I felt this way. If people in my circle or my neighborhood didn't feel this way, I was by myself, in my own.
Especially on the east side.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, wherever you was at, most likely you was the black sheep of your family. Now you the black sheep. Shit, it's a whole page on Instagram for black sheep.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole YouTube. It's a whole it's
a whole Twitter. So you can just find it now. So that's why. I always tell this generation, I know it's harder too because now they have a lot of pressure because things are more fabricated now.
Way more.
It's not organic. They don't really have to work as hard. They get such things get such a viral video would change someone's life, and then they be they'll fall off real quick because they wasn't really working for that the whole time. So I really feel it's pros and cons in their generation and our generation.
And they entitled. You know what I'm saying? They really entitled.
Yeah,
you know
definitely. And I realized that even now, since this COVID-19, a lot of younger students are outside And I was like, they never even went outside. Like, that's why I was glad our generation was like that last generation.
Oh yeah, that last one.
We got a bit of everything, you know, like this, like everything. I got a taste of everything. The pagers, the two-way, the cell phone. I got the text message when you got that phone bill when it was $1,000 because text messages was 25 cents, 50 cents a text message, and you didn't know.
Right.
So like now these students, they can get on the internet and literally, I had to go to like my friends, I had to tell them like when they doing music or they want to, like young high school boys, when they want to see a girl, they could just get on Snapchat, Instagram. I had to literally go. I told them I was outside until I was in high school. Like until I started driving, literally like I was outside walking. We had our backpacks. We would take the bikes. We do whatever we had to do. Exactly. These students like, no, I'm just gonna get on Instagram Live or I'm gonna FaceTime them or they don't even like personal contact with nobody.
And that's why they can't communicate really too.
That's why the workshops is more, it's crazy when they're in there, like they'll sit there and a lot of students that write the most don't talk at all.
Exactly.
And then eventually something was sparking and like, oh shit, I'm about to just let it out. And like we let our students be themselves. Like when we was at Douglas, one thing, shout out to Anthony Crawford, he used to always said, these kids want to cuss, I'm not going to tell them not to cuss. So we was at Douglas, and because how we going to tell somebody to express how they feel? Because like at the high schools, I know this for a fact, they cuss anyway. They cuss anyway. So the famous interview by Tupac, or speech by Tupac, when he was like, it's so much other shit going on out here. So we don't even worry about this. So if a student to me says, man, I'm having a fucked up day, I'm not going to say, man, don't say fucked up. I'm gonna say, why's your day messed up? What's going on with you? Talk to me. Like that conversation, that whole shift, they get more comfortable. And then I've noticed they cuss a hell of a lot less. Like they don't even want to cuss no more because now they don't feel like, oh man, it ain't seem as cool. We don't allow our students to disrespect themselves or disrespect each other, like cuss at each other, cuss at us. But if they're expressing how they feel and they writing down a piece of paper like, man, today it was like shit. I'm just express it. Then I want to know why. Then we get all into that. That kind of changes the whole narrative. Now they're like, oh, now they wanna listen. Then we're bridging the gap with the teachers because the teachers are around my age. The teachers are younger than me sometimes, and the students like, man, they don't know what I'm talking about. But then when I'm talking to the teachers one-on-one, me and teachers talking, we talking some real shit to each other. I'm like, why don't you just relax? let down that guard of this whole
the teacher.
Yeah, that entitlement. Because I just be talking. Like I go into schools. I've been in school with a do-rag on with a hoodie. And I have. And personally, I've had to change my wardrobe up a little bit because they mistake me sometimes. That they don't.
It's too black for them, right?
Yeah, and I come in there like, who's running this? And then I put my hand up. They be like, what? So as I've gotten the last year, the more meetings I've had, I was like, man, I need to change it up because they'll speak to me. They see the proposals, the email, like, oh, then I walk in there with a hoodie on and some sweatpants and some J's. They like, oh, and that's judging the book by its cover.
Exactly. And you over it, you know what I'm saying? And that can knock some potential business in the future, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So just get you some polos on them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
man, you'll be straight.
And I've been switching up. See, when I've done meetings, when I teach my classes though, I do go comfortable. But like when I meet with somebody, I have to change it up. Even, the braids, I have my hair out in the fro sometimes. I've had to keep my hair braided. Yeah. It's certain things when I've gotten older. It's not even about, and people always say, it's more about just maturing to me, just presenting myself. Because I've looked like this for the past 10, 15 years of my life. I've dressed like this. I've, presented myself like, I want to change it up a little bit, because we always have seasons in our life when we change things. So now I'm at the season where I'm like, I want to dress a little bit more professional. I want to give me some more suits and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, man. But you're not in corporate, though. So just think of the black man that's in corporate that's thinking like that, man. He got to go there, shit, man, like every day, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy? Because
and he can't be black.
I was going to college. I was at UCO before I dropped out. I was 16 credits away from getting my bachelor's in criminal justice. So I was going to do that. I was going to take my LSAT and I was going to go to law school. So, I was about to step into that corporate world before I just honestly, I was like, man, I need to work for myself. I just had that mindset. I was like, man, I don't really want to take orders from nobody. I don't want nobody to tell me what to do. I want to get fired.
With your time.
Yeah, and it just kind of started feeling weird. And then I realized that it's, the people the resources you have, the connections you have is really what you need. A lot of people that have these credentials, and I learned a lot in college. You know, the stuff that I do now is from learning in college. But you know, I had to change. You know, now I am my own boss, so I can't get fired. But I know at the same time, a lot of people in the business world, the corporate world, that's a burden. Even during this COVID-19, I've been seeing a lot of people losing jobs and a lot of people that thought they had their jobs, you know, their dependency. So that's why I was like, you know, that's why I love poetry and chill too, because it's more like opening, like, hey, if you have dreams, like
express
chase them. Even the students too. I don't like that kids that are from here don't like to be from here. You know, like every city you
like
go
what
to.
You mean? Hold on. Like what you mean?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. Okay, so I'm from here. So growing up, we always be like, man, I got a cousin in Dallas, so I'm from Dallas. Or I got a cousin in LA, or my cousin, you know, or something. It's never I'm proud I'm from Oklahoma City. You know,
back then,
Even I'm not gonna speak on all artists, but this is the majority of the artists I've heard. Even when I listen to music, sometimes it don't represent our culture here. It represents another culture.
But what's our culture though?
That's what we have to talk about. You know, our culture. We have a story here. We have
most definitely.
We have history here. I mean, this even from going way back from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Black Wall Street to even Oklahoma City. It was little Africa over there on the east side. East side used to look like Midtown. You know, my auntie, the McPhersons, she was the first class to segregate, you know, schools in Oklahoma City. So that's just one generation from me. So that history, what's happened, all the businesses that was on the east side, what happened to all the businesses? What happened to all these movements that was going on over there? Shit, that's a lot of history. So when you look at like LA, when you look at like Dallas, Atlanta, the hip hop, the music, the culture represents that whole struggle, that whole story. So we have our story and struggle too. I mean, you know, there would be a whole nother podcast, but you know, just talking about white supremacy, talking about that type of system of muting us. So like I look at things, I'm like, man, because I have this book that talks about all the historical things just in Oklahoma City. And it's just like, I ain't know none of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean about like just representing our culture. I see stuff all the time. That's why when I go to other cities, I love to say I'm from Oklahoma City, because they be like, Oklahoma, because they don't even know, like some people don't even think black people were even here, you know? So that's what really kind of gets
cows and horses and shit.
They think that, and then they be like, oh, the thunder. I'm like, we was way here before the thunder. And I love when I was in college, when I went to Russ College in Mississippi, when I was in Memphis, I love that when I had that, people was rocking with me. Now, like, oh, I'm from Oklahoma City. And then, you know, they be like, oh, I'm from Chicago, I'm from LA. But they was like rocking with me. I'm like, man, we have, you know, I look up to people here. You know what I'm saying? I love my city. So I guess that's how I've kind of noticed, you know, just with our culture.
Man, and that's why I try to show on the podcast, you know what I'm saying, that we got dope people in OKC, in Oklahoma, period.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of dope people here. It's a lot of dope.
And you need to touch that Tulsa too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some good friends in Tulsa, man, that you can hook up with, man, and bring the movement out there too. Bro.
Oh, that's definitely my next goal. It's like, you know, I started home, and then the colleges was just by accident. When I was looking at Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was actually like, that's a must, you know, especially with their educational system, the public school system up there, with our workshops. I definitely want to get into that, because now we're in Oklahoma City public schools. You know, we working with the district. So I'm like, you know, even during the COVID-19, our literacy workshops actually got more awareness, you know, because we went virtually. So virtual with all our workshops. The Oklahoma City district is putting our lessons on their website every week, so the students can get to it. Last week, we went to Two Lakes Elementary. I put together 106 packets that has 8-week lessons in them. So I gave the students that. I gave the students pencils, color pencils, markers. Some of the students, because the only reason I did that because students don't have access to internet. A lot of them don't. So like the ones that don't have access to it, we're gonna give you packets to take home. So they got journals. It's just a whole worksheet. It has instructions for the parents.
And you started this when?
This October of 2018. So it took off
2 years, bro.
And it'll be 2 years this year, and and it'll be 3 years.
Under 2 years, you doing it like this.
And it'll be 3 years in November for just poetry and chill, just in general. So it's just that type of movement, kind of. And I love to say I'm from Oklahoma City too. That's why I call it Poetry and Chill KC. So they be like, "Where y'all from?" This is a story about it, you know. Because when I was at Black Wall Street over there, like. And I first started, people was like, what is he doing? And that first event was 60 plus people. And I was like, okay, I might got something. But then that second one, it was 100 plus. The whole to the barbershop, every spot in there was full. Outside,
right?
Bobo's was out there full. It was just crazy. I'm out there like, dang. I was like, this is crazy. When we went to Bistro, that really kind of sparked my mind. But when the colleges grabbed onto it, and then that real light bulb clicked when the
how do you get the college connect? How do you get that?
That was just kind of the way I marketed. They seen it on Instagram.
Okay.
They was, you know,
they seen it on Instagram,
and they knew somebody. They had one of their sorority sisters performed at my show. So they're like, you know, who is it? So they just wrote me on email like, hey, my sorority sister performed at your show. We're doing an event. Can you host it? And I'm like, I've never done a college show. I was just like, hey, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I didn't even think college tour at all. So we go there. It's 100 people, 100 plus. I'm like, yo, this is dope. So they really rocked with it. These are college students.
What age?
18 to 21. So like, you know, most of my events were all ages, but it was more adults, you know, so older adults. So I'm like, okay. So from that, I went home. That was like October 2018. I went home, thought about it. I was like, man, I think I got something here. So I just used the footage, the pictures from OU to contact other colleges. And I was like, hey, we can bring this to y'all, blah, blah, blah. And from that, we've been over 30, 35 colleges just from that spark. But then it started being a word of mouth. We go to this college, this sorority hits up, these deltas hit up this deltas, these kappas hit up these kappas. So we just start, this BSA hits up this BSA.
Right.
So it just got bigger.
Yeah, black people putting other black people on.
Yeah, and then it's just gotten bigger. And especially when we go to the PWI schools, we love to link up with the BSAs, BSUs.
Okay, yeah.
We have real good relationships with the kappas, real good relationships with the alphas at OU, the deltas at OSU.
That's crazy, bro.
So it's just like they rock with us. I mean, they bring us out to where when I was thinking about doing a spring tour or the spring of 2021, because all this stuff, you know, I talked to all the colleges. They're with it to do it this fall if they go back. So I was gonna postpone it. You know,
man, because these colleges, man, like they need events like this. You know what I'm saying? Like to keep these kids. You know what I'm saying? Man, like occupied on some shit.
Yeah, and
you
they
know
love it too because we bring the workshops too.
Okay,
and that's what I think is kind of switching, because like now I bring the workshops that we do with the students to the colleges. Because the same material that we teach it to everybody. So they just been grabbing onto it because it's something different, you know. And I realized that like
it's positive, bro.
And it's positive. I feel like every 5 years is another wave comes. And I was saying this before I even met you. I was telling people, it's like, man, this wave of positivity, love. This is like real shit, not even like on some corny shit. Like, cause I remember watching this interview with David Banner, and he said some shit like, you know, the conscious or, you know, whatever message we trying to push, we gotta make this shit cool. Like, we just like, you know, when I was young, I didn't want to talk to no nigga wearing no dashiki. I just didn't have that mindset. Like when he was walking up to me, just the energy, you know, like I didn't have that type of approach. People might step to me sometimes, they don't know how I feel, how I think, you know, just off the way I, you know, present myself. So seeing like things now, I see it's a shift. I see like that fuck boy shit, that fuck girl shit, that fuck shit in general is not like people ain't like letting that shit slide no more. It's more like, nah, you can't be doing that. And I think that's where I was like, cause I've been staying down. So the whole time I was like, man, like, I'm gonna stay on this positivity. I'm gonna stay on this love. I'm gonna say just being real. Like you ain't gotta be like, some people think, you know, that's why on this music I was working on, people think like OG is like street shit, this and that. You know, it's like offering game. It's like really giving people game. It's like putting people on, putting people in better positions and doing things. And I realized that growing up here, you know, I didn't have, you know, I had a father figure, obviously, but you know, when you look at people in the city, like, man, who can I look up to? You know, and who's doing something that it won't put me in prison. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Who, you know, when I look at them, is this in a positive way? So that's the kind of message I was trying to put. Like, look, y'all can do this, and then y'all can get in any lane y'all want to get in, because we gonna make sure the people here, people watching, it's a show. You know,
exactly. Okay, man. So what? Like on the kids, like, what's the most shocking thing that you have heard, like from them?
That
like, because they going through pain. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids, you know what I mean? They going through things at home, man.
The most shocking thing that I heard is that that they're not learning nothing in the schools.
Of course they're not.
Like, and then that
it's outdated.
One real shocking thing. This is from every grade, from 5th grade to seniors. I was like, when the last time your parents asked y'all if y'all was happy? Mm-hmm. And they was just like,
they never had.
It was just like, they don't even know. None of them was like, This that general question, like, are you happy? Like, are you okay? Is anything you need to talk about? You know, and
shit, the parents is going through things, man.
And the parents, and you know, that's why we're going to start doing things with the workshops with the parents too.
Okay.
But one thing I've always, you know, told to the students, like, it's not their fault, but it's kind of hard to tell a 5th grader that. You know, when I work with high school kids, like, shit, in a year they gone. You know, 2 years they gone. They go to the military. They going on with their lives. They can, you know, you can be on your own at 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, they are their own.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm talking about, like, that's why when I'm talking to a 5th grader, they kind of stuck at the house with their parents. They can't just leave and go live on their own at 10, 11. But when I'm working with a high school...
Man, I know a 4th grader, man, that's at the house by herself because his mom strips. You know what I'm saying? Like, she living that street life, you know what I'm saying?
And he raises himself.
And he raises himself. And my homegirl got to go take meals and shit to him. And, you know what I'm saying? Because she is teaching.
And some of those stories I've been hearing, I'm like, and that's why, you know... And I haven't even announced it publicly, but I was saying on here, we've been a nonprofit since February. Okay. So I officially got a nonprofit on the side too, Poetry and Chill Kids. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason that we started that, because it's like so many kids out here that don't have any access to these resources at all. And it's so much stuff going on. Working in these schools, I'm like, how can I help these kids? Mm-hmm. And you know, sometimes sitting there, you can't help every kid, you know, but I was like, man, if I could at least give them something to look like, like if they're at home, they like, man, you know, when I go to school, or if I go over here, I know this is there. I got these opportunities, you know, I'm at home and all this stuff is going on, but I know this platform is over there to, man, get me out this struggle. You know, maybe one step I might meet somebody, or, you know, somebody might want to be might want to play basketball, but they don't know nothing how to get into those type of situations. Those little like connections goes a long way. And I noticed that working at Cassidy and then going to Moon. You know, these kids are the same. Like these,
because you know, they all into the same thing.
All the same. And like, and these kids at Moon are so damn smart. Like, just so smart. Like, I look at the notebooks, I'm like, man, like the way they write better than me. They
of course.
Their penmanship, their vocabulary, like just the maturity level. Like, these are 7th graders, 8th graders, and they're talking on our stories, dropping. I'm like, they're dropping paragraphs, dropping words I gotta Google. I'm like, what does that mean? You know? Right. And that kind of changed my perspective. I'm like, but we got to give them opportunities too. They fighting for their lives. You know, they over here, they ain't got books. They ain't got. That's why I was like, I want to make sure that the Poetry and Chill kids give all that to them. So when they need books, they need notebooks, they should never have to want supplies. Like, that's the last thing these private schools is worrying about is supplies. You know, books, pencils, and stuff like that. So definitely.
So you bringing it, like, you know what I'm saying, like all the schools together. So these kids is meeting kids that's not even going to their school. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a thing to do for kids. Basically.
Yeah, especially on our IG, because we do Instagram Live every Thursday.
Oh, y'all do?
Yeah, so we be having about 45 to 50 kids that just be on there coming in and out, participating. They love, man. They love just to like interact with one another. And then they see another student that's from this side and they be like, oh, they feel the same way I feel. And then it's just a connection. Then, you know, our Poetry and Chill shirts, you know, it just kind of like this the logo in general. You know, I always tell people like the logo.
It's classic.
And it was inspired by Poetic Justice, you know, just, you know.
I get that feel now.
Yeah. Okay, so like when you see the logo, it is inspired by Poetic Justice, you know. But just at first, you know, I was like,
it's cold though.
Yeah, this is the heart, it's the feeling. And even when people wear it, I see some of my students, they feel, you know, they float when they wear it. They put it on, they feel better. And you know, that's how I was like, man, the logo means something. So that's why I wanted that representation of that. So that's why when we go to colleges, when we go to these places, we make everywhere we go, that vibe, that feeling is just, that's what we're trying to give them.
Yeah, that energy.
That good energy to where they're like, shit, they go home and get inspired to do their own thing.
Right. Okay, so with the kids then, like you kind of slowed up in the city then, like on your events for adults.
Yeah, we started, and this is the honest truth, man. And this is the few people I worked with, is just people don't want to pay for the experience. Okay, so like this stuff that I do, like, you know, I've I give to the community all the time. And then when I started giving for the kids, financially, I couldn't give to adults too, and I had to make a choice, like was kids or adults, right.
And adults are already, they stuck in their way.
So
the kids is way more important, period.
Yeah. So, I worked with them. And then when I was working with some of the venues, and I just from the outside in, I see venues, they'll bring in outside artists, pay them thousands of dollars, and have the same turnout I'll have by myself promoting. And this ain't radio promotion. This ain't, commercials. I promote all my events by myself. I literally make the flyers, get the artists, do the street promotion. I don't have a team. I don't do any. I put it on my websites. The following comes, and it's the last summer we did we was 200 plus every show, back-to-back weeks, 6 events in a row, every other week. And I know people don't throw them type of events, and these are like organic fans. These are people that's coming out to literally watch the show. These ain't people that's like an entourage or a part of this crew.
Right.
These are like organic people that I have never seen in my life. And I still don't know I don't even know who they are, but they came, they enjoyed the show. But I just feel like, as artists, and a lot of artists have agreed, like a lot of the venues don't respect that culture. See, I don't own a venue. So a lot of venues that do host events, they own their brand too. Right. See, I'm like a mobile guy. So like, and I understand everybody has to eat. So when I go into the venues I have worked with, what I'm asking for, they don't want to do. But it costs for my band, it costs for my DJ, it costs for the photography, it costs for the videography, it costs for the flyers, it costs for everything. Exactly. So even me. So, but they don't. I think a lot of them has said, offering me the venue for free is a good thing. And I'm like, that's not enough. This is a business now, like, especially as much work that's been put in. This 25 for 25. It's not like 10, it's not 10 for 25. It's not, it's, miss 2. It's every event is hitting the same type of experience that's like,
you build your brand, what I'm saying?
When is this gonna be, and I've, when I was at Bistro, when I was at Queen, I was like, okay, maybe they might think this is lucky. Maybe they might, beginner's luck, and then when we went through the colleges, obviously the colleges, I don't even promote those. I just give it to them, but I know the colleges organization is going to promote their own events. So I just show up. But when I did the last summer, I was like, okay, let me see, because I didn't do events in the city for like 8 months. I was like, let me see if they're really rocking with me, or was that just a moment, and then they came right back out rocking with us. And I was like, man, so that's why I've been, talking to my team like, hey, what do y'all think we should do? Because, as far as a college tour, as far as the kids, when we're set, but I love my city, so I want something in my city, it's just trying to find a place where we can meet halfway, where we can get equally yoked in the situation, where no one's getting taken advantage of, where every night we go home, they're winning and I'm winning. Because I'm going to work, and, our resume, our background speaks for it. So it's just kind of trying to find that type of relationship with a venue in our city has been the hold up.
Yeah, man, but you know your worth.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm glad that you didn't budge on it.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people was trying to get me to, and like water down my brand, try to scare me, try to say not scare me like physically, like, but just more like, man, if it falls off, or this is just a moment type of thing, and I'm like, nah, this is something different than that. So when I like started working with the schools, we'll live forever, because
on the news.
I mean, and this is not even, and this is crazy because my cousin had to tell me this because he works with me. Since October in a year, we was on the news 20 times. 20 times from 4 different news stations.
Right.
So this from different.
And that's free promotion right there.
That's free, and this is 20 times that they've wanted to do stories on us, wanted to highlight our things. We was even on the news during this COVID-19. 3 different news stations. All you see is COVID-19, then Poetry and Chill. It just pops up like, so during this time period, I've like learned like, man, learning our worth, standing my ground. A lot of them, they want to, how can I put this? They want to push this narrative, because a lot of things in Oklahoma, it goes up and then it falls away. Right. It goes up and it falls away. Like, if anybody can say what was popping 10 years ago that's still popping now, I give them $100. You know what I'm saying? 10 years ago. You know, like
ain't no clubs around that was 10 years
10
ago.
years, I mean, even 5 is probably hard. You know,
10 years ago, shit, man, it was funner in the streets to me. You know what I'm
you know, even 20 years, and you know, 20 years ago, you know, it is when you go back in time. So that's why I document everything with Porch and Chill. But I learned that when I started working with the schools, when I started working with the colleges, I was like, man, this is the only way that it lives, because my high school kids next year, like literally my students from last year, when I first started, went to college, and then they brought me to the tour. They brought me where they was at. They was like, hey, they got a party where they said, hey, can you come out? And then it just keeps going, because now my middle school students gonna be in high school, then they gonna go to college. It's gonna just keep going. So I was like, man, I'm good over here, but at the same time, you know, I do miss the city, because this is where I'm from. It's just kind of trying to, and I was like, well, maybe I got to buy my own venue, you know, to get my own stuff, because that's the only thing that I've kind of noticed being from here. If you want to do it yourself. And then I'm trying to change that narrative, because I love, you know, LA. I've been in Atlanta, but I've never got to see their culture. But just the stories I hear about how they're all connected, just the love, just like if you're an artist and you got something going on, like you know where to go. You know, here if you're an artist, you like, man, it's just like you don't know what to do, and I don't like that feeling. Like I don't like how you're an artist, you're a poet, you're a writer, actor, producer, and you don't really have nothing that feels like it's safe for you to benefit without getting you know, used or having to pay, or just any situation, you know. And I know things have to, you know, financially, you got to feed it to, you know, to grow. You know, I know nothing is just free, but just that platform in Oklahoma, you know, that's where I grew up. And I was like, man, when I 5, 6, 7 years ago, I don't remember no open mics in the city. When I was trying to, you know, the only person I remember is Chris the Guy McCain. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the only one that at that time was doing events. I can't remember where he was doing them at, but
that's what I tell people though. He was doing it at his spot though. You know what I'm saying?
He was doing it in 2014, 13, but he would like reach out.
He owned the spot though.
Oh, see, and I didn't know that.
Right there by Ice.
And he did it a couple other spots, 'cause I did like 2 or 3 shows, you know, before I moved to Cali. Like I was working with him. So I knew him then, you know, when he was putting me on shows, let me perform when I was first just trying to get out my little shell. You know, so definitely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, like he always been ahead, you know what I'm saying? Because his spot was like an open mic for artists, you know what I'm saying? Man, but we was doing too much in it, then it got, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, but you stayed in LA, you know what I'm saying? So you seen what it can be, man, like if we come together, you know what I'm saying?
And I noticed that being out there, and this is what I noticed in LA too, it's everybody's doing something. A lot of people are copying people, because that's just life. You know, people are gonna try to copy what you're doing. But I noticed out in LA, the culture is respected more. Like it's just more like, but it took years to get there. You know, it's not something that happened overnight. So like when I looked at Oklahoma City just in general, because I can't speak for Tulsa, but at Oklahoma City, I was like, this is a blank canvas. You know, shit, this is open. You know, I don't have to go here. Like if I'm in LA, I got to answer to somebody. You know, if I stepped in what I was doing, I would have to answer to somebody. I couldn't just come in the city and just shake up shit. And they like, who is this dude? You know, throwing all these events, hosting these events, you know, getting, you know, doing stuff. You know, we had the Thunder invited our team. They gave tickets to our students to come out, you know, working with different things like that. If I was in LA doing that, they'd be like, hold up. You gotta talk to somebody. You can't just come out here in our school system, because it's already programs like I'm doing in LA, you know, in San Francisco, in San Diego, so in Oakland. So here I was like,
because they care about the culture and the kids just like you.
And I loved it. And I was like, here is not, I couldn't, and it's no disrespect to nobody, but no, when I went out there, I did start finding people like Sean C. Johnson, Anthony Crawford, obviously, Cadence, JB, Lieutenant Cubit. I started finding people that I never seen on social media. And I said this with Lieutenant Cubit the other day. I said, when I was wondering, the people I thought that was helping in the community, they was posting all the time. And I actually started being on the east side, because now I'm on the east side 5 days a week, you know, seeing hundreds of kids at Moon, at Doug's, at Northeast Community. So I'm over there. I don't see nobody but these people I'm naming. And there's more people over there that I didn't name, but it was a majority of people. I never knew these guys were over there working every day like this. You know, I never knew how much work they were putting in. I mean, shout out to Cadence, man. we was at Moon and we needed transportation. He ended up, using his van, to pick up our students,
Okay, damn.
So it's like, it's love over there, know? So just from being over there, working with those guys, it changed my perspective. Cause I didn't start Poetry and Chill and say, yo, I was going to work with kids. That's why and I noticed that like a lot of other organizations, other people felt some type of way. I was like, are we beefing or are we jealousy over kids? Like, this wasn't my calling. I mean, well, it had to be my calling, but this wasn't something I woke up and was like, yo, I'm about to go do this.
Right.
It was something that the kids contacted me. And what else am I gonna do? Say, nah, I had a choice. And this personally, I had a choice to go get the bag myself or like, yo, we can all get this bag. Cause I figured it out, like, shoot, okay, that's why we're gonna start this nonprofit. Now I'm gonna have the studio set up for y'all, the dance studio set up for y'all. And then now we're setting up the poetry clubs for them. So now they can travel, go to competitions, do their own thing.
Right.
So it just changed my whole perspective working over there and just working with people here. I was like, man, it's actually, and they helped me. That's why I say this love here. It's just, you gotta actually do what you say.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, and you gotta do what you say you doing too. Cause I mean, when you on social media talking about you want to do some stuff, it's different than when you actually doing that. Cause when you doing something, like, you ever heard of that thing? If you sitting on the side of the road and you just sitting there, people drive by you, but if you pushing your car, somebody will pull over and help you push.
Right.
Like, that's, people see you working, they like, shit, we gonna help. And that's how I kind of know, like, I was out there by myself. Yeah. I went to the school, I didn't have no support from other than Lieutenant Cubit and the fact mentoring program when I went to the schools. And then I started getting support from the teachers, from the principals, from the other people outside of that, just to help me. They're like, man, who is this guy trying to work with these kids? Moon was our biggest workshop, no other than Two Lakes. We deal with 100 kids, but Moon was like 25 to 30 every week. These are kids that want to come. We don't even make them. We feed them pizza. Right. Little Caesars end up donating pizzas to us.
They need those meals too, because I work with a church, man, and I deliver to Moon sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, like, they be needing the meals.
And we want better now. I can't be a hypocrite. I don't even eat that pizza like that. So I'm working for when we go back and when things get back rolling, get some healthier food for them.
Okay, yeah.
I work with, I know the owner of Smoothie King, Justin. I know him over there off of Western over there by that Costco they just built. I know him. So, like, I've been working, trying to get new things because, we working on the mind, we working on the mental side, spirituality, but what about the physical side? So they eating all this greasy food, these sodas and all that stuff. So definitely want to change that.
Then the rapping, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still doing your thing, man.
Oh, yeah,
I see you. Yeah.
That was it's interesting about that, man. I actually started completely doing that in 2015. Okay. I used to post my videos. I dropped this project called The Boondocks. I was in California. I was really on this movement with it, but I had a lot of streams. I was getting thousands of streams, but at that time, I wasn't performing. I knew, on social media it looked good, but I knew I didn't have like a real following. Like, people really checking for me. Like, let me listen to this dude's music. And then, I started doing my reading. At that time I was reading 48 Laws of Power. I just started reading more. I was like, man, how can I get myself out there more? Because being a great artist ain't just enough anymore, especially in this day and age. Like, you could be the dopest artist in the world and never get heard, never get your work seen, never get your picture looked at, nothing like that. So I was like, how can I approach this game differently? I moved, obviously I was in LA. I moved back here. I started Poetry and Chill. When I started Poetry and Chill, I was doing it for me. I was like, I want this so I can have shows to do. I wasn't thinking, I wasn't really thinking about other artists, but I noticed how the other artists grabbed onto it. So I put off my music from literally 2016 till the end of 2018, just so I can build Poetry and Chill up. So I finally dropped my first project, Poetry.
So you came back to it.
Yeah, at the basically beginning of 2019, I promoted that on the college tour. So I was pushing that. So that was my first kind of, let me test and see if they really rock with me. Because I was on the college tour, and that was kind of that, when you like get that, like, okay, this is where I need to be. I was performing one of my songs, and I ain't never had this shit happen to me. And I got it on video on my page too, Instagram. Baylor, they started, chanting my shit. They was repeating my words. And I'm like, you always, you dream of moments of shit like that. You like, shit, I got crunk. I was like, hold on, these college kids rocking with me.
Right.
And and I know this is so bad that, I didn't want to mess up. So I was like, my homie got on camera, shout out to Trey. And when he did that, I was like, man, they're rocking with it. So that moment, that right there started this movement for my next tour. So I started doing that part of that song, and it's like a traditional thing now, like chanting. So when that came, obviously, I just started performing at my shows. Like I did 20 shows without performing at all. So I just started performing. A lot of people didn't know I did music. A lot of people thought I was just a promoter or
so you let other artists perform too?
So when I first started, just until last summer, every artist ate off my stuff. I never my biggest shows ever, I didn't perform at. Right. So I had other artists performing, but I wanted more of a platform. I wanted to represent something. So I was like, I'm gonna build this representation. So at first, 2018, 19, Poetry and Chill was Poetry and Chill. Right. But now people know it's Gregory II too with it, because they see me because I'm the host, this and that, I perform. So when I went on the college tour, I'm the only one performing. Yeah. So I open up, I do my poetry, I perform with the band. They love it. So we are the highlights, and then we let the students perform at the colleges. So I noticed okay, they're really, really rocking with my music. So this year, 2020, where I was playing it anyway, basically it's my real actual coming out party. Okay, this is what I'm doing, because I do have an actual following now. People that actually check for me. What you doing? What you got going? So I'm like, man, I'm about to use this to my advantage.
Got to.
Because some people won't even press play if they don't like you. Mm-hmm. They'll scroll right by. But if people rock with you, they'll press play just because they like you. And then they're and they might like it, they might not. But I was like, man, I at least want to get people, a platform. And then I have my own platform. So I'm promoting this at all these colleges when I'm at. So it's just it worked out perfectly, man. Right. It took time though. I tell people I'm watching, Gary V. I know you know Gary V. He was talking to this kid the other day. He said, do this at 20 till you're 25, then do this to 25, start a business at 25 to 32, then start doing music at 32. And the kid was like, 32? And then I started thinking like that because, I turned 30. Mm-hmm. But I was like, that time frame, because I was trying to rush it when I was 23, 24, 25. I was trying to just push things. Mm-hmm. But that process, that patience, man, it built the actual solid foundation to where it's I can do this, and now people are checking for me. Now I have a solid foundation. Now I can do a show and 60, 50, 100 people will come, and I could just promote it myself. Right. My own thing. That's things that people can't do that's been doing this for 10 or 15 years. They can't get a local artist. That's why I've noticed in Oklahoma City, local shows is not respected here. Right, I was like, at all. When you a local show, a hip-hop show, they be like, I ain't going to that. And they don't want to go. I'm like, that's a bad narrative, And people don't realize they was trying to put me in. I am a poet, I love poetry, but this Poetry and Chill was rap. It was hip-hop. It was all that. It's just, and that's why I was, I heard a comment one time out there. They was like, talking about what hip hop was, and they didn't mention Poetry and Chill. And I was like, how is Poetry and Chill not hip hop? Like this, everything.
It's the culture.
It's everything it represents. Just from historically speaking, everything to every angle, if it was a checklist, we hit everything. So it was just the name, and even rap stands for rhythm and poetry. So I'm just like, when nobody wants to talk about that, but so things is. When you talk about historical fact, you talk about really how the culture represents, everybody be like, oh, well, but.
I already know, bro. I already know. But I know shit like what you doing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I know that you changing the game, you know what I'm saying? And your work ain't gonna really show until about 5 years, when these kids is really you know what I'm saying, CEOs and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? They gonna look back and say, hey, you gave me that platform, you know what I'm saying, to speak my mind on things, you know what I'm saying?
And that was the goal. When I started, I was like, the kids, that's why I stopped even worrying about the adults, the other artists, because it was, it was a lot of bad energy. I was like, man,
it's ego driven.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, do what you do. That's how I feel because, and I seen something J. Poe posted a long time ago, it's probably 2014. And he was like, if we always down in our city, but go to another city, they can't do that in another city. We are down man, Oklahoma ain't this, Oklahoma ain't that. And it might not be, but we can make it that, we can try at least, and some people have tried. And I agree, man, it's hard. It's hard. I'm not a person that because if you ain't never tried to change your culture here, you can't say how hard it is. But it is hard. You do go against a lot of resistance. But I just noticed a lot of people have not even tried to put that work in their city. They just kind of...
Yeah, they just complain.
Well, they're complaining about other people's platform. They're not even taking the confidence to do their own thing and set their own goal. Because like some people push their dreams on your platform. You're like, this is another platform, like, and they don't understand that, So that's why even with the kids, like when I worked with the kids, they're so selfless. Like kids just is happy it's just there. They don't even think about stuff like the colleges are just happy it's just there. When I was working with doing open mics with adults, sometimes some of the artists will make it like, this, they're obligated. This is theirs. I'm like, this is for the people. Like that's the people who are coming to enjoy the show. Right. Enjoy. Let's have some fun. Let's show some love. And people thought, that's how I had to kind of separate the two. I was like, man, this is a tough decision. Even now, I'm still thinking like, what should I do? Even with our culture, because I'm getting older. I want something here, because everywhere we go, they be like, "Where's the home at?" And I'm like, "Man, it's in Oklahoma City. We started there, but to bring it back is a definite thing. It's like crabs in the barrel. We've been fighting, man, here."
Right. Nah, man. Like you just got to do it yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can't. I mean, if they don't support it, well, like they don't see the vision. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to keep going. Like a lot of people didn't see this vision. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm 136 strong though. You know what I'm saying? So I don't worry about the outsiders, bro. You just got to keep that tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? Like you doing your thing, man. Like period.
Yeah, and I want to, and it's crazy because I guess it's not even an artist. I'm so worried. I want to do it for the people. Because people here want the culture. Like I've noticed that when I did Poetry and Chill, they want that love. They want that vibe. So that's more like how I've been thinking now. Like how can I not even worry about that extra stuff, and how can I put something together just for the people here that want something like every Friday or every other Friday? Because they, people work, they want to do something in our city, and especially like after this stuff gets passed, people gonna want to go out a little bit more. I feel like people are saying that things are gonna be slowed down. I think people are gonna want to go out, want to have some fun, because things are real chill now.
Right. Yeah, man. Like, and let me know, man. Like, if the kids need to. You know what I'm saying? Like a podcast or something, you know what I'm saying? Like I can bring the equipment to y'all.
We definitely, I was definitely gonna invite you to something like that too, man. Cause like we're trying to bring in, especially people that's in Oklahoma City, so they can see it, man. Cause they have these visions and dreams, and then they see people on social media and they can't never get to them. Right. Like, man, I want to actually see that and actually get a taste of it. Even a student being in here right now, they be like, man, this is dope. You know, they had that vibe. Like, I'm about to set me up a podcast. Exactly. And they got the following now. I'll be telling them like, y'all got a following. Like they be posting stuff. I seen one of my students. They probably got like 100, like 800 followers. They posted a post yesterday. It's like, who rocking with me? He had like 200 comments. I said, how in the hell? Right. But that's just, I'll be telling people like the platform they have now is amazing. Like Twitter, TikTok, they can literally like set a whole business. I mean, everything I've done has been through social media. And I'm a millennial. Generation X, shit, they good. Like, and they know how to use this TikTok and all that shit. I have never been on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? But I seen it. Right. But I know, but you know what's funny? I have a TikTok with Poetry and Chill because I'm smart. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the one. I ain't that person. I tell people this: if you're not on social media, you're not gonna make it. I told somebody that 3 years ago. Like, if you're not on social media, you will not make it at all. Like, I don't care how big you are. And this is a fact. If you've seen Nike, Apple, I mean, all the $1 billion companies, they're on social media. They're on Instagram. They're on Twitter. They're on
that's life.
Facebook. Why are they on there and they're $1 billion? There's a reason. Like, if $1 billion company is on there, then somebody that ain't making none of that close, we got to be on there, because it's a reason that they're on there and they're using that platform, because it's free promotion. They like, shit, other than paying this $100,000 for this promotion, I'm just gonna they made a Facebook page, and all they gotta do is post for free, and it's there. So that's why I tell people, like, you get access to thousands of people, and sometimes even for $5 with the sponsorship. So it's a lot of difference, man, working with social media now.
Exactly. Man, I appreciate you coming out, man.
That's all. Look, I appreciate you having me back out, man. It's
you know what I'm saying?
It's been a while. We're gonna have to update in the next year or two, man.
Yeah,
see where we at, man.
Already. Hey, man.
Be at episode 200, then 236. What was the episode? I can't remember the last episode. 136, man.
Yeah, man. Just doing it for the culture, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's dope, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man, to keep doing your thing. So you say that after the COVID, then you getting back at it.
Yeah, I'm getting back at it, man. Right now, they can check me on SoundCloud. I did like a G-Mix playlist.
Okay.
It's a lot of remixes to some songs I like, some songs people rock with, some like You Got Me, Grown Simba by J. Cole. I just did a couple remixes, like 7 songs.
Already.
Then at the end of this year, after the summer, I'm dropping my part 2, the project that's going to be on Spotify, Apple, iTunes. Check for that. Just follow all that, man. It's gonna really be a movement. We're going back on tour.
Yeah.
Workshops is going back. I mean, everything is just, is just elevating right now. So just follow. Just enjoy the show. We putting it on for y'all. I love this.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Shout out to Brandy Podcast, man. That's episode 136. The return of Gregory II. Poetry and chill, man.
Let me get a picture on that thing right quick.
Oh yeah, bro. I gotta